Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the morning show. I have a very, very special OG guest. I had to go searching throughout many campers throughout the United States, but I found her. We did find her. And let's all welcome back Corie, again, OG of the space. She was a huge contributor in helping with my channel in the beginning and the Discord. In the Discord again when from the very beginning. So we all appreciate her in the community, but she has been missing. She did a YouTube channel and then she left and she went missing. So we want to give her a chance to speak about that and everything else. Corie, for those out there that may not be familiar with you, since you have been gone, I just checked your last video, 11 months now. Well, number one, how have you been? Number two, do you want to give a brief intro of who you are and why we're here?
Well, I mean, we could go anywhere with that.
Exactly. Go anywhere you want.
I don't know. You say 11 months, so that would have been, I guess, maybe December or something. But yeah, it's been a year. As far as when I started, let's just do that because I think that would be easier, especially for those that don't know me, because I'm sure there are so many people out there now, in the past year, since I've sort of been out of the loop of everything. I was watching a YouTube video, obviously was getting into investing, trading, whatever you want to call it. And man, I can't even think of his name. The skinny bald guy.
Ethan.
Yeah. Somehow I came across his video and he had mentioned you in the video. And then that's when I went searching for you and found your channel and started watching you. And then I joined your Discord. And then, like you said, I started helping out. At that point, it was just you. And started just trying to help you out because it's a community, right? And I know some of you out there a lot, it feels like family, especially at the beginning, because there wasn't as many people as you have now. And it was seemed like everybody could contribute to something, but I didn't know how to contribute. But I'm good with usually computer stuff or organizing and different things. So then that's when I remember reaching out to you to see if you needed help and stuff. And I even remember you were like, I don't know if I can trust you. Because, you don't know anybody online.
Yeah,
It wasn't so much those words or anything. But I remember I ended up sending you a picture of me in my uniform. I was like, does this help? Because I don't know what else to do, right?
Yeah, I'm like, sure, that works. Let's go for it.
So, I remember I sent you one picture and I was like, do you know who this is? And you were like, no. And I'm like, that's the Sergeant Major of the Army. I remember that. But yeah, and then that's when I just started helping you. I started doing the Discord and helping with managing that and creating folders and just organizing. And then I started helping with the earnings and I was doing some sheets and stuff just so I could contribute in some way instead of just feeling like a loser and just mooching off of you and all your, without all of your information and everybody else's without being able to contribute. So
that's right. I remember that you made an earnings file, right? That was a pretty sweet file. We got to bring that back. That was I'm sure that was a lot of work, but
yes. And then, I don't even know how many are out there now, but that, it was interesting. And it's hard sometimes with that particularly because depending on where you're looking at depends on, the estimates and stuff because everybody has their own estimates. So, and the dates would change and everything. But yeah, I mean, it was fun. And I just, I like to do stuff like that. I want to be organized and do things.
And then you got into, sorry, go ahead.
You're fine.
No, I was saying, then you got into, or you were brave enough to jump into making your own content, right? I forget where it started exactly, but eventually you went to covering all of the funds, right? And I remember it kind of driving you crazy, but you did 522 videos. So you were at it for I'll say a fair amount of time. So what made you want to get into YouTube? And how was that?
So I didn't have any intention of doing that at all. If you remember, I was helping with, you with formulas and Excel and stuff.
Yeah.
And other people were doing stuff, and I tried to answer, because that's what I do at work all day is Excel, pretty much spreadsheets and different things. And Max, I remember I would started before I even knew Max. I was like, "Hey, Max, your stuff's misspelled." I was always the one just trying to help people out because I know if it was me, I would want somebody to tell me. But I remember that was my first couple of interactions with him, and
Yeah.
some people might take something like that as, you know, um,
Yeah.
not good feedback or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, he was a good sport about all of it. And then he had questions about stuff, and then actually the channel just started with me because it got harder to try to tell people how to do formulas and do things or whatever, and the thing that it was easier for me to make videos. So that's actually how the channel started. Was I'm pretty sure all the first videos was just trying to do some Excel formulas and stuff and teach some of those. And then everybody, Max, everybody kept talking about, well, actually I started creating a spreadsheet, and then I was just sharing the screenshots in the Discord. And
Yeah.
then eventually I started doing a little video here and there. I'm like, oh, I'll just try it. But me, usually when I do something, I end up going all in, and then I just didn't stop. And until New York, and then I started missing some days because we were in New York, and that was sort of the unfortunately, but sort of the downfall of that, because then I started missing several days. So I realized the world wasn't going to end if I didn't get the spreadsheet done that day. Um, but yeah, that's pretty much how that started. Not really how it ended, but how we got to where I actually started doing the content.
Yeah, I'm going to share your channel real quick so we can show everyone. So this is her channel. It's still up. Again, looks like we said last video, 11 months old. These thumbnails, they bring back good memories or nightmares.
Oh my goodness, I don't know, both.
Yeah.
It's actually sort of sad. So this just seeing my last videos there, where you can see 2 videos of me. Just don't. I know I say don't watch the last video, and then somebody's going to watch the last video because I said not to do that.
Yeah,
But I
exactly.
see those 2 there, which tells me that those were probably videos of a death in the family. Since there's 2, one with me driving, I guess, and then this one. This one, I end up just breaking down and bawling in this one. It's so bad. I only know because I went back and watched it because my brother found my YouTube channel because he found out about it. I'm like, I'm not telling you, and then he found it, and I was like, crap.
Yeah.
Uh,
I hear that. Yeah, so it was an hour long, by the way.
Yeah, it was right after working out, and I was like, I want to do a video just like I've wanted to do a follow-up video, and then obviously here we are, this many months later, and I still hadn't done it. But it was just supposed to be something quick to let everybody know, and I think I went anywhere from everything that was going on, and then I did start talking about investing, even though I think I said at the beginning I wouldn't, or the funds, but.
You almost had 2,000 subscribers too. So,
well, I probably had more than that, but I know.
They dropped. Okay.
Unsubscribe, yeah, which.
Yeah, let's everyone that's listening, let's bring that back up to 2K. I don't know if she's coming back, but we'll get into that at some point here. So, oh yeah, Max, if you can't make it, he thanks you for all the help on the spreadsheets. So it was funny. He was saying, you guys should have seen my spreadsheets before Corie helped me with them. So maybe he'll pop in, but I know he appreciates your effort, and of course I do, because again, I was lost in the Discord in the beginning, and then everything was just so new. I'm still like lost in Discord, but it's we're still getting there. So I know you mentioned a death in the family. You mentioned the YieldMax trip. Actually, let's go backwards a little bit. and talk about the YieldMax trip. So, what were your thoughts? Because you were part of the first closing bell, and that was at the New York Stock Exchange. How did that come about? And did you happen to see that they went back to the NASDAQ to do the closing bell again?
I did not. I was wondering about that this morning, so I didn't see the going back. I should go back and watch some of the content from that. Um, well, originally I wasn't supposed to go. Um, man, I'm going to go blank this morning. Facebook, there's no telling how many YieldMax Facebook groups are out there now.
Yeah, the
Man,
first one. I know you're talking. Yeah, the main
yeah.
one. Right.
And I can't think of his name, and I feel so bad. But it was the one of the moderators or something of that.
Yeah, CJ or something. Or, I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
Yeah,
I think so. Is that right?
something.
NAVADE. Um, I don't know. But yeah, actually, they were the ones invited to go originally, and they didn't, they didn't want to go. I can't remember the exact reasons behind it. Um, they weren't a YouTuber, didn't do any content or anything like that, and he had suggested that they reach out to me and get me to go, and so that's what they ended up doing. I don't know if it was Mike or one of them that had reached out to me. But yeah, that's how I ended up going. Wasn't supposed to go, but I'm glad I was able to. And I think it was a last minute thing too. It was like what a week or a couple weeks out or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
But it was enjoyable. I know when I was there, I ended up actually. I don't know. It feels like a daze to me now, and it's hard to remember some things. But we went. But I don't know if you remember. Well, see, you weren't there that long, and that was so sad because you weren't there as long. And then I know Max had to leave early too. But some of us got down there a little early and stayed a little bit later. But when I was down there, I was having some like memory issues. Like I couldn't think. I'd be full on in a sentence, and then my mind would just go blank. Come to find out later, I figured out why, and it was through a conversation with somebody else. It was some medication that I was taking, and it causes like forgetfulness and a memory loss and whatever. And so that was what I was having. I remember Jay and I, we were at a cigar bar, I think, one night. And we were outside talking, and just like in the middle of the conversation, I just totally blank and I couldn't remember anything.
yeah,
It was crazy. But when we were there, I mean, it was a great event. They threw on a really good event. They were great to us. We were all, able to go out and hang out. And I know you weren't able to go with us, but and then Max wasn't either. So it was me, Andre, and
coach, right?
yeah, the coach. We went. I ended up being, I guess the mom of the group or whatever, and set up little things for us to go by the Statue of Liberty and go to Staten Island, and I did the baseball game and a few different things. So I know we had a few videos out there between the three of us doing those different events, but it was
Yeah,
really.
exactly. Okay, yeah. So I guess you missed the. They did go back to the Nasdaq, right?
Mhm.
Remember the New York Stock Exchange, very limited on how many people can be on that stand.
Yeah.
The Nasdaq, it's a platform, so they
Mhm.
actually invited a whole load of content creators.
Oh.
And at the time, I was thinking, I'm like, but because they were asking, about certain creators, but I'm like, I was thinking about you, but then you hadn't posted a video. I'm like,
Yeah.
so I think that's what they were looking for.
Mhm.
But no, it was different. I think they're both are good. They were both good in their own way. They actually put me on the panel to speak this time.
Ah, it's you.
Yeah, I don't know what they were thinking, but yeah, no, it was a good time for sure. Max couldn't make it, unfortunately, but coach was there, and I forget who else from the first time. But no, it was a good time. So okay, so we'll circle back to YouTube. Did you make a decision to say I'm done? Or did you just kind of like, you just lost interest and just completely forgot about it?
No, none of the above.
Yeah.
Um,
Because you were monetized, right? You did
yeah,
get yeah, okay.
yeah. Obviously, that's not what I was in it for. I was just trying to help people out, right? And I like doing spreadsheets, and then I got into it. But no, it just happened. Um, so try not to cry. So the other deaths in the family, if you gone back, I think the first one was in like November, and then the second one might have been December. There might have been two in November, but those videos ended up being spread out. Even once one happened, it might have been a couple of weeks before I tried to get back started before another death or whatever happened, and uh, I don't remember the date of that last video. And actually, now that I say this, that might have been, there was 4 deaths total. So that might have been one of those videos might have included 2 deaths. So when January happened, or when January came, uh, sorry,
No,
my
it's
dad.
all right. You don't have to get into too
Well,
much, but
well, my dad died, and so that was, I haven't posted a video since then. Um, so he died, and I went to Tennessee. Sorry, and I was there for 3 weeks dealing with that and the funeral and the estate. And then I came home, and I think, um, with all that going on, I I just didn't. It was just too much going on
yeah,
because
yeah,
I was still dealing with the estate when I came home. But then, um, so I didn't come home actually until January 31st, like early 2 o'clock something that morning, because my husband had surgery. So that's actually why I came home. So he had shoulder surgery. So then I was home for that, and then went back to work. And if you recall, I'm a federal employee, and we were, teleworking then. And in February is when we had to go back to the office full time.
okay,
And so between my dad dying, and then that was just the end for me. And I just couldn't ever. I always wanted to do a video, but then how the longer it goes, and it just didn't happen, and it
yeah,
that's just the way it went. And then going back to the office, even to this day, has still just not been great for me. Like because I moved. I did live closer to work, and then we moved and bought land out in the country, and so I live about 45 minutes now from work. So now that I have to go back into work, just the drive time alone is an hour and a half. And before, I only had to go to work like one day a week. But then doing that plus getting ready for work, and then just everything else, and then the drain of being in the office, and then just everything. And then turns out, so in the past year, I have been diagnosed with ADHD. And so just with all of that stuff, and then going back to the office, and then having to try to figure out medication, because it's just different when you're in the office and constantly being stimulated, and people, and just everything. It's just, I just got to where when I came home, all I wanted to do was go to bed. And I still do that some. It's not as bad now, but it just so then I just got to where all I do now is work. And then I have drill, because I have my military status also as a reservist. And then, yeah, I seem like all I do is work. When before, right, I didn't have that, the extra couple of hours a day doing that, or the drainage of
yeah,
people, whatever. So yeah, so that was with my dad, and then going back to the work, that was just, so there was really, I guess at some point there was I guess it's over, because it all happened, and then I didn't at least get to tell people why or what happened. And then
yeah,
here we are.
yeah. No, very sorry for your loss. Sorry you had to speak of it again. but appreciate the storyline there. But your content, you know, you're the spreadsheet queen, right? You destroy all of us, and your content was always so good. And just because I'll say, I know you stopped, obviously you had to. It makes sense, perfect sense, for your situation. You're always, people are always gonna welcome you with open arms if you do decide to come back. I will, right? And we will, get you back in, because there's a lot of things. There's a lot of funds. There's a lot of action here, and you could be a huge contributor because obviously your skill with what you do. Now, real quick question: did you say you went? So you, when you started the channel, you're probably full-time remote. It sounds like, right? And recently, your commute is 5 days a week, an hour and a half one way.
No, that's a round trip. 45.
Round trip. Okay. All right. So you went from no commute to 45 minutes, each way.
Right. Yeah. Well, we had to go to, we had to at least go to work 2 days a pay period. So depending, because I changed throughout, I either went 2 days every 2 weeks or 1 day a week. So that's why if you go back, there were some commute videos, right, where I just talked or whatever. That
In the
might,
car, right?
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
There were a few of those.
Yeah.
And that was because I had to go in the office those few days.
Okay. So are you remote at all? Are you in the, wow.
No, not at all. So,
Wow.
yeah. And then on top of all of that, with everything, and I don't want to get political or anything else, but just the fact that everything happened the way it did with Trump and there we go with it turning sideways.
I was waiting for that.
And then, all of a sudden, government employees, don't work well from home and all that kind of stuff, and the mandate to come back into the office. See, look, I just went totally blank on what the original question was after messing with the monitor.
I guess the in office versus out of, I assume like you would prefer to work from home full time if you could.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
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 You just don't know. You get so much more work done, which I remember back in the day, my previous boss was like, "Oh, don't you want to work from home sometime?" I'm like, "I live 15 minutes down the road. Why? What's the point?"
Yeah.
That was, of course, before COVID and everything else, but then afterwards, and that was one of the things I told my boss is I was like, it was not the point of coming back to the office, and you could hear the people, they would say, "Oh, well, people at home don't need to be at home by themselves," and everything. Sorry, I was reading the things. It's not good for people's health and everything, and people don't get as much work done. But when I went back to the office, I was like, it's not the point of having to come back and the bad talking about us from working from home, but it's about, you realize just how much work you got done at home versus when you come to the office. So like that was like the devastating things, because you don't have people constantly coming up to your desk, stopping by to talk and BS or, just other things. And, I live here in my RV. My food's right there, and I don't have to, do all that extra stuff. And that's assuming I even get it from my computer and eat. So that was just one of the hardest things, being talked bad about things, and then going back to work, and then now it's like I don't even get as much work done as I used to do, and ADHD and stuff that makes that stuff worse. And then it didn't make sense, and I had thought through it that I was like, but I used to work in the office and it was no big deal, but I'd never worked in an office like the job I'm in now. Like I used to have like my own office, or I worked in a place that didn't have as many people. And now I work in, Cubicle City, where there's tons of people and people that are loud.
Cubicle City, you said?
Yeah, Cubicle City. That's what we call it, right?
Yeah.
And, people.
That sounds like a nightmare. Cubicle City.
It is. And I sit in the back to try to not get people to bother me, because I'm like funds control, right? So nobody really should be coming and talking to me, because they should be going through the other sections.
Yeah.
But I sit like near the my boss's boss. So then everybody's constantly coming in. It's always something, and it's distractions, and it makes it so you get distracted and off track and
Yeah.
everything else. But it's just a lot. And then, so I guess the point I was getting to just now, I just remembered what I was talking about. So with all that and not being able to get much work done, and on top of then the whole, oh, we're going to do this DRP where people can, retire early and get paid through September, or retire early and get paid through the end of the month. We lost a lot of staff. So now we're supposed to do the same work with less people. So then it got to where not only was I working late because I felt like I couldn't get as much done during the day, that I was working late to try to compensate for that. But then we don't have the staff to do all the other stuff. So then I'm trying to pick up slack for other things or help out in other areas. And this year, believe it or not, I mean, it's gone by 2 months gone by, and I feel like it's been a couple of weeks. And I realized since we've been furloughed the past month that something's got to change, because I barely see my grandkids this year. I've barely done anything with my daughter or my family, because all I do is go to work, and then I may be at work late and come home, and sleep.
Yeah.
So something does have to give. I've realized whether,
That's a little rough, especially that commute. Because now, I mean, I go in 2 days. I still complain. I'm an hour one way, so it's a little. It's I don't know. But I look back and I'm like, how did I ever do 5 days? So I feel for you. Hopefully, there's retirement, coming your way soon. Which brings up the dividend topic, right? And let's start with your name, right? Everyone sees your name. We're on the bottom. Happy Camper with Dividends. So, where did that come about?
Well, I remember you and I having the conversation on, I don't even know what it first said, but we've had the conversation many times. Honestly, I had no clue what to put on there. And then I think it was the picture that I had. Yes, I am definitely over 35. See, he made me put my happy camper hat on this morning, so you can't see my face.
Yeah, she has the whole happy camper outfit on, guys. So
I had to get up and do something this morning. He was like, "Is that a happy camper shirt?" I was like, "Yeah, I figured I needed to break this out." But I don't know. I'm not creative at all, unless it's maybe a spreadsheet or something, and retire on dividends. And I saw the hat and it said, I had the happy camper, and I'm like, well, why not? And that's just how that came about, was happy camper with dividends.
Yeah. And then so speaking of dividends, obviously you covered YieldMax. I think it was just YieldMax. I don't think you dove into anything else. Do you still invest in any of YieldMax funds or any high yield covered call ETFs at all?
I may have a few right now, but it's probably more of a swing trade type thing. But actually, no. So what and how that came about? Because I was thinking about that this morning as I was getting ready for this very early interview. So I'm not a morning person, everybody, in case you didn't know.
Hey, at least you showed up. I thought you were going to cancel.
I didn't think I know. I'm so sorry.
It's all right.
And then I was afraid to go to sleep last night because I was afraid I wasn't going to wake up. But so actually what happened was in December, what I ended up doing, whether it was the right thing or not, with when you talk about return on capital and everything else, I'm not totally sure. But sorry, I was reading the thing.
I know. Don't mean to distract you, but I want to make sure.
I know, but I don't get to respond to them. I'm sorry, y'all. What was it? In December, what I ended up doing was some tax loss harvesting. So at that time, I don't think I purchased, any between like, November and December. So I could do that. And then after that is, my dad died January 9th. and then going back to the office happened in February. So I never truly got back into any of them. I mean, I've gone in and out or whatever. Like I said, probably with maybe some trading or something, but honestly, I haven't followed anything. So like I am even totally lost on what's going on as far as YieldMax or any of the rest of them. Um, I
Wait,
know.
wait, hold on. You haven't followed retire on dividends?
No, I said I didn't follow. I
I'm
haven't
kidding.
really
I don't care.
followed you. In fact, actually, I have watched some of your videos. Yeah, uh, commuting and stuff. Right. I was watching one the other day too. I don't remember what it was or why, but something caught my attention and I was watching it. Um, I don't know. But yeah, that's that. I guess that's the pro to going into the office is that I get hours to just listen to videos and
Yeah.
YouTube. Honestly, once I the last couple of months started getting deep into AI like ChatGPT and Copilot and Gemini and all these things, now I spend most of my time going to work working because that's now I can think through things, and so I like to talk to myself out loud too. I've gotten better at work by not doing it so much. My old boss tells me that's why they don't want you in the office because you talk to yourself all day long. but yeah, so now I do a lot of just thinking out because that's one of the things that my new passion right now is learning power platform products, learning power apps and stuff like that. It's
Like Power
Microsoft.
Automate.
Yes, Power
Yeah.
Automate. Yeah, that's another one. But
Okay.
yeah, the power obviously Power BI. I knew about all that, but it
Yeah.
wasn't the last several months that I found out about Power Apps and Power Automate. So because we had to get away from macros at work, and that's what I've been doing for years is macros. So then that's been my new biggest passion. So I've got trying to convert all of our stuff at work, start learning all that stuff so I can convert all that stuff, which I've thought of recently since now there's all this threat of firing federal employees while we're on furlough. Is that, if I can ever get my taxes done, that maybe that's what I need to do is go ahead and learn this power platform stuff and try to find me another job or something. But yeah, that's my newest passion, getting away from Excel and macros and learning power platform products.
We'll dive into that, but real quick, I just want to thank Miggs. He gifted 50 memberships.
Oh wow.
I don't know if you know what that is, but 50 random people that are here will get a membership, which doesn't really offer much because I don't, unfortunately. But I'm trying. I'm trying to do more. But all right, so it sounds
Well,
like you're.
let's do a plug there. What does your membership include?
Like I said, not much. No, well, there's two. There's like the 99 cents if you just want to support, and then there's
Oh,
Wolfpack for $3.99 or $4.99, which is I try to do random videos, early releases. Um, I'm starting to do options workshops, really, where we all like it's like a big Zoom call of people who want to talk about options, which you're gonna hopefully we can get you involved. We'll talk about options in a second. But yeah, like I said, don't get too excited because it's not much.
well, well, I asked because I remember back in the day, Max kept getting on to me, and he was like, "You need to do memberships instead of just giving away all this free stuff. All of the numbers and everything." He was like, "I'd pay $20 a month for," it, and he's kept going on. And I was like, "No, I don't want to do that. I'm just trying to help people." And I remember you getting on to me too because you know how you can do the people can donate money and stuff like that. And I turned mine off because I just felt
Yeah,
bad.
I'm
You
like, no,
know,
don't
you
do
that
not do
on. I
that.
know, but I felt bad taking other people's money, so I had I turned it off because that, like I said, that wasn't the point. It was just
Yeah.
I felt like sometimes I was killing myself. I was just trying to help.
So let's get back to investing, right? And then we'll talk about spreadsheets.
Okay.
So, are you investing at all, or you're just pretty much relying on 401k pension and whatnot because you don't have time because you're at work, you're in the office all day. Who has time to trade, right?
Right.
So,
Exactly.
do you have any
So,
time to invest, or you're kind of like just so out of it?
No. So I do. Um, it's more, I would say, more of swing trading, only because if you remember, I don't, a lot of my money I don't need tied up long term, right? Or at least that was the way it was supposed to be, because I was going to build a house and I still need my money. And if it's a downturn in the market or whatever, I can't afford that, right? So most of my stuff has been swing trading, or even some day trading, depending on, if I'm at work, or I, used to be able to do that before work. I could get up early and do some things in the morning and then, start working. Of course, I can't do any of that now, but I do some swing trading and stuff. I rarely take lunch at work, but I need to start making myself. I do have, I'll have my phone up and I can at least see the stock market when I'm sitting there, because, the internet sucks. It's another thing about going into the work, and the computers suck. And it's like, okay, well, I can just look over here while I'm waiting for the computer to work or to restart or whatever. But no. So, like I said, I do a lot of back, at the beginning of the year, I probably didn't do much of anything, and I didn't pay attention to my accounts, which is not a good thing sometimes, especially depending on what you're holding, and especially if it comes to micro strategy. Just saying. But my biggest thing lately, well, we won't talk about the options part, but just yet, because I know you have something you'll want to get to there. But I think NVIDIA has been the last several months has been my biggest swing trading, 2 times levered and stuff like that. But I have
NVDL,
huh?
NVDL, NVDX.
I did do NVDL at first, and I think it was because it got so high in cost. I don't know where it's now. I ended up going over to NVDX, and I probably did a comparison at some point or something. I don't know.
So you swing trade. What's your strategy there? Just buying the dip, selling the green?
Pretty much, yeah. Pretty much.
Is there a certain number of days where like you'll wait or you'll take a loss, or do you just hang in there and you wait?
I don't take a loss unless I have to do. And there is no method to my badness.
Okay.
Honestly.
I like it.
And because, and it actually started with MSTX, or one of them, back last year.
Yeah.
And, but I'm glad I swapped over to NVIDIA, because it's one of those that you can hold longer, right? Because it's mainly going up. And I will say, just in so when my dad died, he had an IRA. So now I have my inherited IRA. It was split between my brother and I. So I, have that now. And in that, the NVDX that I bought, many months ago, because I've just been letting that sit there because I have so much in my taxable account. I have a bunch of those shares in there that I bought at $5, $6, $7 a share. And, it's up to almost $20 today. And I'm talking, a few thousand shares. So I have made a lot of money off of NVDX. And so I'm just so glad that I, went over to that. But
time to sell covered calls.
So getting to the option side, if y'all remember, well, and I don't know how many actually public conversations we had, but y'all would always try to get me to do options and, actually trade them. Like, well, I can talk about it and I can do the spreadsheets and I can tell everybody what all this means. It took a long time, right? But I don't know that I want to trade. And like, I was like, I'm still not really sure about actually trading them. Believe it or not, I bought but I sold my first options just a week or two ago. So it's been a couple of weeks ago. Yeah. So last week I did a lot more. And I was doing it on, I've done a few others, but NVDX were my biggest ones, right? Because, and it goes back to what you were telling me before, or what you tell people on the thing, right? But I was just used to the trading those shares. But if you were willing to pay this price for something, then why don't you just sell a put? And then if it gets down there, you get to buy it at the price you wanted to buy it at anyway.
Yeah.
Or, maybe it doesn't get there, but now you keep the money, you keep the premium. So yeah, I was like, it clicked. But because I'm furloughed right now, right? And I'm at home, and I'm like, I asked my husband the other day, I was like, do I need to go get a job? Dude, I need to try to find a job. Do I need to go to Cracker Barrel and be a waitress or something? I'm like, I don't know. I work for the government, so I don't have any skills for the outside world, you know. Um, but anyway, so since I have been home in the last couple of weeks, I've been able to pay more attention to the options. And so yeah, so I don't know, so I'm dabbling in there now for my first time ever. Y'all would be proud of me. I know Max is proud after all this time.
Congrats. Welcome to the dark side.
I know.
No, it's a it's a good, the first trade is the hardest, right? Because you're just scared to hit the buttons. You don't know what's going to happen, right? Even though you read and people tell you this is correct, it is scary. So I can vouch for that. But then after you do that first trade, you'll get better and better, and it's fun. Like, to me, like, it's just a different type of investing.
It is. And one of the things that I learned, I'm like, man, on some of these, depending on, what's going on with the market, I'm like, I can make a lot more money doing this with the options than I can.
Exactly.
Of course, you can lose a lot of money too, right? But I can make a lot more money than just swing trading some things. So I don't know.
You were saying, what can you do for work? Well, let's see. Now you're an options trader. You're a spreadsheet master. You could sell your skills there, and you're still a YouTuber in my eyes. So there's 3 skills you can make money on. That, I'm just saying, but
well, it's funny what you say that. I did think about, because trying to learn out there with the power platform, and there's lots of stuff out there, but it's different when we talk about federal workers, right? Because we only have access to certain things or certain parts of things. That I did think about. I was like, if I can ever actually do this and learn all this stuff, I should do some YouTube videos on this to help other federal workers out there. I know it has nothing to do with investing, but I'm always about helping, and doing things. And but anyway, I did find my calling in life. I did tell them, and with everything going on recently, and I did blow up at work and threatened to quit a month or 2 ago. It was stressful at year end, which is September 30th. But I was like, in life, I think that's what I want to do. I want to find a job. I want to learn this power platform stuff. Once I started learning it, like, why don't we do this as a whole for like the government? Why is everybody doing their own thing and having to recreate the wheel? And it's just causing so much work. And I was like, I want to find a job where this is what I do, and just be able to help people out, build things, and just make their lives better, which is what I was trying to do also with the spreadsheets, right? And I know you tell me, don't do them all, just do one. But I'm like, but I can get all the data and I can do it all at once. So why not? It's just always like, I love helping people.
And I think you were doing them all when each one was a separate download. Now you could download them all together. I don't know if you even know that, but I just want to tell the community, she was doing all of the funds when each one was a separate download, which is why I was telling her, don't do all of them.
Well, if I remember correctly, they were all together at first, and then they went to separate downloads.
I can't recall. Maybe, not quite sure. I remember being upset that they put them all together, but now I'm like, why would I be upset about that? Because that makes so much of it easier. But yeah, to your point of making content of what you just said, like Power Automate, Power BI, you'd be surprised because, like my job, where do people go to learn something in Power BI? They go to YouTube. Where do people go anywhere to learn something? They go to YouTube. So I was going to get into this towards the end, but again, like, let's talk about YouTube, because I don't think you should quit. I think you should come back. I'm not saying for YieldMax investing, but like you just said, something like that, something you enjoy teaching, because, there's no limit to what I feel like everyone should have a YouTube, because everyone likes to talk about something. So is that something you're considering, or adding to the mix of your current channel, because again, if you understand it, that's something hard too, that people, it's not easy, right? So if you're a good teacher, that's something that could probably do well. And like you said, start with your coworkers, right? Here, I made this. What do you think? Does this help you? And then I don't know. What were your thoughts on something like that? I know you brought it up as a suggestion.
Yeah, so yes, once, depending on my life when this actually happens, if I can get really good with Power Apps and stuff, I think Power Apps is really my passion right now. I think I want to do that, if I could get the time. Obviously, the better I am at it, the easier it's going to be to make videos and stuff. But I think I would love to do that. I know my priority really is just getting things from work and making things easier and life better for everybody else and anybody else out there that I can share it with. It's just a lot because like we have a what's called knowledge management, right? And they can make these for me. But at the same time, I'm like, all these spreadsheets that they call them my babies, right? And they used
Yeah.
to, I always had a spreadsheet for everything. So they've always called me spreadsheet queen too throughout my career. But like what we do, it's the federal government system and all their systems, it's a lot. And I'm like, there's no way I can hand off what I do to somebody else and then to just expect them to create something I want, and then I'm not even going to know if it's right or not. And that's what started this whole journey. I was like, well, let me learn some of this, because they just say, hey, just tell me what columns you need, and I'm like, okay, but I don't know the why behind. I don't know. It was just so much stuff. And that's
Yeah.
why I figure once I get down to this, then I can help teach others, but then maybe I can build products for others. But yeah, I mean, it's a real possibility that I might do something later on down the road, but it would be, once I become a SME, subject matter expert, that I would do that. And it would be more, I mean, it would be useful for everybody, but it would be probably more useful for federal workers because of the restrictions that we have, and certain, things that have to be done differently than others, that just have regular wide open systems. So it can be a little bit tricky, but yeah, I did learn years ago. And so I'm an introvert. I'm like a big introvert, but years ago, before I went to Star Major Academy, which is like a year long, 10 and a half months, I was having to teach the staff everything that I do, the stuff that nobody ever wanted to learn how to do. But I was like, okay, you're gonna have to learn how to do stuff now. And once I started doing that and creating how-tos and trainings and everything else, that's really when I learned that, I love just teaching and training and helping people more than anything. And yeah, so.
All right, we found your next YouTube channel idea. We also still want you to come back and talk about these funds, because I would imagine you have the talent to pull all of the fund data into a master file, right? And to automate it somehow. Again, just a suggestion, right? We also want to see you back in Discord, just so you know. All right. So you're, of course, always welcome back there. Any thoughts on coming back to Discord? And, what's the YouTube timeline? I know you have no thoughts. Obviously, you knew this question was going to come, because you probably would have just said no to the interview if you didn't want anything to do with it, right? Or maybe you're just nice to me. I don't know. But it's, are you coming back to either Discord or YouTube?
So I have Discord, and I popped in there a few times. I think
The
I put.
fake Cories show up more than you, just so you know.
Oh yeah, no,
They're still there.
that's what you were telling me. You had to remove me as the mod and whatever because of all the fake ones out there.
Exactly. So you have to
I
let me know when you're back. You'll be
Yeah,
manager again.
yeah, I did pop in there a few times to say hi to people. It's just with everything going on, and um, and I think ADHD. I know I hate to say that, but it's one of those things. If you don't know, it's like when things start getting a little overwhelming and stuff, you just avoid it altogether. You
Yeah.
start it just like, I don't know. I guess it came to be, with everything going on and me not doing the stuff. That was where I I stopped going into Discord anymore because I wasn't doing anything, and then I couldn't even get life straight. Right, I literally go to work, I'd come home, I'd go to bed.
Yeah.
I've been on, we've changed my medication probably 4 or 5 times this year, and I'm still not great. But it just, yeah, I don't know. And then I had my thing and I have like thousands of notifications. I hate those red bubbles on my phone, but I just
Yeah.
thousands, and I go in there and it's, I know some of the old people are still there, and new people. It's just a lot because I don't have the time, to go
Yeah.
and read and catch up, and so
Well,
it.
there is an options channel, and
Oh yeah.
I know I still learn a lot every day. So if you're ever like for that reason alone, so I know you're jumping in the options
Yeah.
game. Don't feel obligated. If you feel any obligation going to Discord, don't, right? Because it's a wheel on its own. I'm barely in there, right? So I go in the options channel and that's it. There's so
Yeah.
many moderators now helping me out, thank God. So it's just a lot of, and then there's the Parabolic in the chat here. She helps out. She's a huge contributor. But and it's
Yeah.
funny because I mentioned I'm going to interview Corie. I was like, oh my God, Corie, so people, they've been around that long. They remember you.
Wow.
So, but yeah,
Well,
no, no,
let
no,
me
no
let me put
rush.
let me put something out there for you real quick though. All you
Yeah,
moderators, just thank you for helping Rod out. It's a thankless job, and I know you get crap from people, and you have to put up with stuff, but hang in there. But I know Rod greatly appreciates all of you. I know we used to have issues, trying to get people to help and not knowing, who is what and everything else. But everybody appreciates y'all, even though they may not say it. So,
there you go. Shout out to the mods,
yep.
including you, Happy Camper. All right. So we're about like 8 minutes left. I want to ask you about Bitcoin. Are you a Bitcoiner?
So yes.
Okay, so you currently own it, buy it, both?
Both.
Okay.
That's one thing that I have gotten into a lot because that was a scary thing. But I did invest before, believe it or not, what it was over a year ago, and then it was like up to 36,000 and went down to 24,000, and then when it went back up again, I was like, man, I need to get out of this Bitcoin stuff. And then I sold my freaking shares, the what I little bit I had. Of course, today, obviously, I regret that, but I don't know when I really started, but I do a lot of crypto now. So I have, I wanted to get to you ever watch the British Hodl?
I interviewed him too. Yeah.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Okay. So the get to one Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I got to half a Bitcoin. So I do.
That's good.
Yeah,
That's
I do
good.
have a half. That was like a month or so ago. I was like, man, I'm so close. I'm like a few $1,000s away, and then Bitcoin started shooting up. Uh,
Yeah.
and it came back down. But yeah, so I have that. I have ETH and Solana and Cardano. I have a bunch, and then I swing trade a lot of the other smaller ones. But because of the spread and how all that works, I don't make as much money as the others because I can't. I'm afraid to hold them too long.
Yeah.
And one thing that I've learned doing this is because it's going to go up, right? But it just keeps going back and forth in this one area. I'm like, man, I could have sold it up here. And then when it just crashed, I could have bought it back down here. So I've gotten more in the trading because the last year, since, December of this year, it's like every time it gets an all time high, then it pulls back for 2 months before it hits another one. So I've been doing a lot of swing trading. As
Yeah.
far as gold goes, because I do see that question here, I have been recently in the past month or so. I have been gold, silver, and precious metals. I can't remember. It's like an ETF. I have a few different ones. So like there's GDX, right? So y'all know
Yeah.
about that. There's a YieldMax thing on that. There's also something I'd learned about in the past month that I didn't know about, but the juniors. So there's like a GDXJ. And then, of course, you have the silvers. And like I said, there's a precious metal ones. And then there's the one out there. Was that the one you did an interview on? No, I think it was the coach the other day. BTGD.
CG or something. The half
Something
gold,
like
half
that.
Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
David. Yeah.
okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So I do have a few of those too, but as Rod knows, is I don't have just a few tickers. I like have a wide range of things because I don't want to be. I don't want to be heavy and too heavy in one thing. However, I am. There you go,
Yeah.
BTGD. I
Yeah.
am really in Bitcoin and Nvidia and MicroStrategy. I'm
I
still
actually think
my
he's
fingers
next
on
week
that one, huh?
or 2 weeks. No, I think I'm having him on next week or 2 weeks after, if you're curious. Now
Okay.
that you're back.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, real quick too, I always ask everyone this just for fun. Do you have a Bitcoin prediction for the end of this year? And do you have a Bitcoin prediction for 5 years down the road? For fun and entertainment, of course.
Fun and entertainment. See, I watch more videos, I think, on crypto and stuff than I do anything else.
So you're a pro. So you got this.
No, I'm not a pro. I don't know. I'm going to tell you, I'm surprised that it's made it as high as it has. I don't even know what the all-time high is right now.
Yeah,
120.
you're good luck, just so you know, because it is. Let me check it right
Yeah, it
now.
was at 115 this morning.
Wow.
Actually,
See,
it got
because of
150
you.
this morning. But I don't know. I don't. You know me. I don't normally do predictions. I usually deal with facts. But just as many people that I've watched and stuff, and just what little bit we've seen, I don't know. We only have a couple of months left. Maybe we would get to 135, 140 by the end of the year. But I don't. It would make sense too. But at the same time, like I said, the last 6 months, every time it makes an all-time high, it's only going up $1,000 or $2,000 at a time, and then it drops back for 2 months.
Yeah.
If we continue that, we're not even going to get above 130. And it really all depends on what Trump's going to say. How many times is the market going to crash, and are they ever going to pump Bitcoin again? And that's the good and the bad, depending on the way you look at it, and if you swing trade and do options and volatility and whatever else, whether you think it's good or bad. But that's the good and the bad of the market right now. One day, you may be down $30,000. I've seen it in my own
Yeah.
account, and the next day you could be at 50,000. But
What
yeah.
about the 5-year prediction?
Oh yeah, man, 5 year
million.
Let's go with 500,000.
500,000.
I'm conservative.
Okay.
I still remember all those people doing those predictions for MicroStrategy and those $1,000, and oh my goodness.
Yeah. Another important question. Do you have your J doll?
I do. I do. Do you want me to get it?
No, if it's close, sure.
Yes. Yes, I do. Oh no. I'm going. I'm coming. I have my J doll. Here's my J doll.
Oh my God. You didn't even open yours yet?
No.
Wow. That thing, you can make some money on that. Any bidders here?
I was a Barbie collector growing
You're
up.
a collector.
So
yeah.
Everything stays in its box.
Yeah, don't open it now.
Well, it's not like it's taped or anything.
Yeah.
Do you still have your money and your laptop?
Yeah, my 3-year-old kind of destroyed it a little bit, but it's pretty tough.
Yes. In fact, with this, my daughter, actually, that's what I got my husband. Well, my daughter got my husband for Father's Day this year.
Oh, like him?
Yeah, we did when I was looking for stuff, it came up. The one of him and her, you could do like a 2-person box thing. And so we did one with the two of them for Father's Day. It was pretty cool. Because after getting this one in New York, my daughter ended up getting a couple. And so that was pretty cool. He really enjoyed that.
Nice. It's funny that you still have it. And I apologize to the community. I know we didn't really I didn't even ask if they had questions today, but hey, that's a reason for you to come back for another interview. Because we had, I guess, a lot of catching up to do ourselves. But if someone wants to reach out to you, like you're missing, right? You're still missing.
Yeah.
No one knows. Do you have X? Do you want people to reach out to you, or are you not ready yet? Is there anywhere if people are asking that question?
So, I do have.
Because we do spaces now a lot, like it's often. So if you go on Twitter, you can just click join, you could speak, and that's obviously off camera. I think you would have fun with that too. So if you are an X and you want to share your handle, feel free. If not, we can do so later if you want. But
so, I have those pages, but I'm not even going to try to look it up right now. I don't know. It's probably out there as Happy Camper Dividends, but I don't really pay attention to social media stuff because that's just another one of those things of I have so much going on that I don't even have time to do that. If it is that meaningless scrolling because I don't want to do anything else. My daughter's going off now. I don't know. See, now you got me want to get back into stuff.
Yeah.
I know. I don't know how to. I don't know what the best thing to do is, honestly.
Well, yeah, think about it, and then obviously I'll let the community know when you're ready. But Twitter's easy; it's text, right? It's not like YouTube. It's a little different, obviously, but and there's a lot of like on the morning. Sometimes I pop on, I do like a spaces, and we just talk. So I know
similar to what we've done in the Discord, just doing it in Twitter.
Exactly. I never really got into the voice on the Discord. I just saw Twitter makes it just easier. But yeah, we're still the Discord's still good too. But all right, so yeah, let us know when you're ready. But everyone, since we are at time, just want to say thank you for getting up early. Thank you for responding to my text about coming on. We appreciate you. We want you to come back, whether it's a spreadsheet master or whatever. We'll watch, right? Or just to say hi in the Discord or even on Twitter now. As always, everyone, this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Neither is Corie. And this video is for fun and entertainment. We will definitely have her on again, maybe in a different format, maybe with multiple people. I don't know. We'll think about it. But again, Corie, I appreciate you from day one and still, right? I know you're busy, you got a lot going on, but hopefully you'll come back to join us degenerates in the community. Now, do you have anything else that you wanted to say before we get to the keyword? I'm not sure if you remember the keyword. You do. Okay. So I'm going to let you say the keyword, but before even that, do you have anything else that you want to say to the community?
I want to say, I guess, thank you, one, for all of the support that I've had, during the process and doing everything that I was doing and helping before. For all of the condolences. I know I've seen a lot of these pop-ups and I'm sorry. I was like, what are we going to talk about for an hour? Right. I was like 15 minutes.
It goes by quick.
Yeah, I know. You just start, but if y'all know me, I just talk. I could talk all day. But thank you for all of your support. My military, my family, understanding, and then apologize because it's not that I didn't want to keep y'all in the loop. It's just one of those things. It's another ADHD thing that, you want to do something, but then it just ends up going on an endless list of things that you never get done, or it's never the right time or whatever else. And I just apologize for falling off the, side of the earth. And I know in Discord, I've told a few people and we've talked, but things get buried and it's just so much. So just sorry for y'all. And I wanted to even do a video after you reached out to me. And I was like, I'm not going to do a video. I'm going to wait till RoD's and, we'll do it there with him. So yeah, I am more than happy to come back. If there were questions that we missed or have any questions for me, it might not be beneficial investment wise or YieldMax wise, but, and then, I always love doing spreadsheets and I love helping people. And that's, like I said, with original. So I don't know, maybe we can come back and if people are trying to build their own sheets, Google Sheets, something and have questions, maybe I could come back and just do a few videos here and there. Because those are usually easy things, just small questions, something that's not a lot of time. I don't know.
One video on the weekend. Boom. Right.
Yeah.
But no reason to apologize, obviously. We just wanted to make sure you were okay. I think a few months back, that's what I texted you just to make sure everything was all good. But now that we're at the end of the video, Corie gets the keywords. So if you made it this far in the video and you want to prove it to myself, Corie, and everyone else here, you have to type in the keyword on the comments and on Twitter. By the way, we are live on Twitter. I probably should have told you that too, but because we can connect to both. But do you have a keyword?
You didn't even. I don't know. You didn't. You should have let me know about that ahead of time.
No, what fun is that?
Because my first.
I told you no prep. There is no prep.
Camper. I mean, I don't know, because that's 2 words though.
Do you want to default it to the community? Because you could do that. You could phone a friend in the community to give you the keyword.
Yeah, let's phone a friend.
Okay, community. It's time to get the keyword, because usually they give me the keyword anyway. So we'll let them do it. As I'm losing my voice, I got to save some for work. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Keyword. We got happy camper. Is that too lame?
Master. Well, that's all.
Yeah, spreadsheet master. That's good.
I'm not creative, so.
Happy camper.
Money.
Are you still a happy camper, or are you a grumpy camper?
Oh my goodness. I'm a grumpy camper, I think. Yeah, that's believe it or not, we've been looking at places and we're trying to figure out what to do, but I'm probably right now I'm leaning towards getting a manufactured home, just because of the ease of price. It can be done and I don't have to worry about planning anything and anything. But yeah, so we've been in, for those that you don't know, we do actually live in an RV. It's a 42-foot RV, and we've been here now for over 3 years. We sold our house when I thought it was pretty much top of the market, but it wasn't, unfortunately. But we sold our house and we bought some land, and we've been living in the RV ever since, because I haven't found the time to actually try to build or do anything. Oh, I like that one, furloughed camper.
You like that one?
I like that one.
All right. If you like it, that's the key word.
Brother.
All right. So we're going to have to end it there, because I got to get my ass to work.
Sorry,
but I appreciate you again for joining. Hopefully we could do this again for sure. But if you made it this far in the video and you want to prove it to Corie, you got to type furloughed camper. All right. Or happy camper or grumpy camper, whatever you want. Right. You just got to prove you made it to the end of the video. So we're going to end it there. Again, thank you everyone for being here live. Thank you everyone for watching after the fact. And thank you, Corie, of course, for joining the morning show at the crack of dawn. But this is my time before work. So you get what you get right now. But thank you again. We'll end it there. So thank you all for watching.
Bye, y'all.
Have a good day. Later.